And now something completely different.
Good afternoon. I'm speaking to you live just outside Los
Angeles. I like to think balding is just God's way of saying, now let's see you get laid.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
What I'd really like to do is put the greatness of this man in perspective.
The hair loss community has a lot to be thankful for, having you as a spokesperson.
You mean you just call this guy up?
About life and about reality.
And now, America's #1 reality radio show for men. Live from Los Angeles, it's Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to The Bald Truth. Phone number is 888-659-3727. Sorry for the delay, guys, but we're working with some new equipment, trying to test some things out, and but we made it. So it's great to be here. Another Tuesday night doing The Bald Show. Apologize for not being here last week. Had some issues that I needed to take care of, but we are back, ready to go. Brand new board, lots of new equipment in the studio. So just want to let you guys know that everything's A-OK. Again, I apologize for being late. Phone number 888-659-3727. Listen, if you're new to the show, don't know who I am or why I'm here, I'm a consumer advocate for men and women suffering with hair loss. I am the author of The Bald Truth and the truth about women's hair loss. And I'm a guy who's been dealing with hair loss for, get this, 25 years. I am 47 years old, and I've been dealing with this for most of my adult life. And if you're looking at me for the first time, if this is the first time that you've seen me, you'll notice that I still have hair in my head. But I will tell you this, that it is a partial sham. I am known as the Harry Houdini of the comb-over, and I'm proud of it. To me, being able to be in this position to slow the progression of my hair loss for more than 25 years, to make the right moves, to make myself feel comfortable to some degree in my own skin. I should turn down mic 2 when I do that, by the way. Makes me feel pretty damn good. It really does. But I want you guys to know, all you guys who are suffering out there, and it is suffering, believe me. I know the young guys who are just dealing with hair loss for the first time, who have no clue where to turn or what to do, who just, are just so lost with all the bullshit that's being sold out there through the internet, and it's still in the back of magazines and on infomercials. This is your safe place. Believe me, this is why this broadcast was created almost 15 years ago. Let me give out the phone number. It's on the screen. 888-659-3727. I have a very special guest in studio with me tonight. He's not quite a sufferer yet, and I don't know if he's ever going to be a real sufferer. But you know him from being the boss of the GFQ Network, being my boss as far as the online broadcast of The Bald Truth is concerned. Let's say hi to Andrew Zarian, live in studio with me. It's amazing to see you here, man. It's fucking freaking me out.
It's weird, right? It's really weirding you out.
What's weird about it, I'm sorry, excuse me, guys, is that you're staying in my home.
I am. I've been living here for 4 days.
That's what's
I don't think I'm heading back.
I mean, do you like it that much here?
Oh, it's great. It's beautiful.
What is it that's so different? I mean, I know what's different, but being a New Yorker, you are a true Queens guy. Why is it so appealing?
I think when I walked out of the plane, it was quite obvious I was from Queens.
Well, I mean, listen. I said this. It kind of looked like you were just you were landing in Ellis Island. You had like a big leather satchel and your GFQ shirt on. It was pretty funny, actually.
I'm loving it here, man. We did some upgrades to the studio. I'm living with you. We've been going out to dinner.
That's the thing. That's what's weird. You are living with me. You're like my son.
No, I've been cooking in the kitchen every morning. I make coffee. I'm cooking. I'm cleaning. It's a whole thing. Initially I thought it was going to be uncomfortable, but now it's kind of like you're my houseboy, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I'm going to head back.
That's not a bad thing. I mean, but you're very clean. I will say, Andrew Zarian is a very, very clean guy. exceptionally clean, actually. And I appreciate that because common law is very clean.
Oh, yeah. She's been mopping it and sweeping for days.
I'm having some problems, man. I'm coughing.
What's going on?
I'm choking to death. I don't. Jesus. We've been drinking for like 5 days. When did you get here?
Sunday.
Jesus.
Sunday morning, 10 o'clock.
It seems a lot longer, actually.
I don't think I've slept in days.
You know, I'll tell you the creepiest move, by the way, guys. I get up the first day that the first night that he sleeps here. I get up maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. Luckily, I put my pants on because I saunter into the living room in like my wife beater. Hair's all messed up. Believe me, he saw the real deal. And Andrew is sitting there in the dark with nothing but his light from his computer, his laptop in his face.
It was like 5 in the morning.
Yeah, and he's like, "Good morning." That was pretty scary.
I made a coffee. I was fully dressed. It's like I slept in clothes.
No, I didn't think you actually. I asked. I said, "Did you go to sleep?" Because first of all, he wears a similar outfit every day.
Every day, black V-neck.
Black V-neck and jeans, skinny jeans.
3 days here, same outfit, different jeans, different different everything.
And he's sitting there stiff as a board in this like leather chair that we have, and that was pretty creepy. But I will say that since he's been here, sorry guys, he has asked me about his hair no less than 20 times.
I redid my hair before we did the show. I didn't like the gel that we were using, and of course, we're going on the Bald Truth, and my hair's going to be under the scrutiny of Joe and Ratty and Jerry and everybody.
But your hair is under that scrutiny anyway. You're on the air. First of all, we air your broadcast, GFQ broadcast, on the Bald Truth site 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Sure.
That was part of the deal.
But it's a controlled environment. GFQ is controlled. I know the lighting. I have my hair products there. Almost everything that I need is there. So
well, I purposely didn't put any overhead lighting over you. Any shoulder lighting or back lighting because I knew how paranoid you were about people seeing whatever thinning you think you have. But I will tell you this: you are how old now? 29 years old.
29. I
mean, for crying out loud, you still have a great head of hair.
I'm hanging on. You are hanging on. It's a major problem. I mean, if any guy and. I know some people are like, I don't care. If I lose my hair, I'm just going to shave it. Bullshit. You are panicking about it, and that's your defense, and that's like the whole, I'm not going to admit that this affects me, and I'm just going to say I'm going to shave my head. Everybody that suffers from hair loss is affected by it, and it is awful. I can't shave my head. I actually got a couple of emails. People forwarded me some very interesting images of me on baldtruthtalk.com, and there's actually one of you on there. Somebody in the forum was kind enough to Photoshop me, in different ways, completely bald. Yeah. And one was pretty realistic, to tell you the truth, and it's fucking frightening. I will tell you that. That is why I do what I do, because I don't care what anybody says. I certainly, and if you look at those images, look like some guy from the future. It's ridiculous. And you don't look too hot yourself, dude. I got to tell you. We kind of look like those, remember the show Alien Nation? Yeah, exactly. That's what we look like. We're drinking sour milk right now. We just don't have the sunspots on our head. Yeah, not yet. I'm starting to get one, actually, as I'm getting older. But listen, we do what we do. I do what I do because I know how painful this can be. And the fact that it really does change your appearance in ways that those who are not dealing with hair loss can never imagine. It is not that easy to shave your head. I personally wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. And frankly, I will do whatever it takes to make myself comfortable in my own skin because I wouldn't feel comfortable as a bald guy. Shaving my head for me is not an option, at least at this stage in my life. So that's why I do what I do. And I don't think shaving your head is an option. No. Not an option. I'm not going to do that. Because you're cool about it, but I have to tell you, I sense your nerves. You asked me about Propecia today out of the blue. I asked you, actually, if it makes a difference, because I was on baldtruthtalk.com today, and this morning, I think everybody in this house was. It's a weird thing. I felt like we're like this hip startup that's living in in a house, and everybody comes here. And that's very funny you said that. It's like we had this decent sized house. We're sitting in the living room, and Tuesdays is the day that I read Bald Truth Talk. Yeah. That's the day. I mean, I don't have time throughout the week. I'm busy doing what I have to do, so I try to catch up on Tuesdays. So we're sitting online this morning. Everyone's on Bald Truth Talk. It's pretty amazing. It was like this hip startup. It's awesome. It's awesome. 888-659-3727 is the phone number. Now, guys, I know I've been having a lot of trouble with my cable. My phone lines are voice over IP,
And if you can't hear me for whatever reason, it's not our fault. We had Time Warner out here 4 times. We finally found out that it's the node, the main. What is a node? It's like a main switch type of thing.
Yeah.
So it gets congested at this point of the day. They're working on it, but as I was walking my dog just now before the show, there's a Time Warner cable truck outside of my neighbor's house.
Really?
So I'm a little concerned. So
maybe they're working on it.
I don't.
Maybe it's a good thing.
It may be a good thing, or maybe there's more complaints. I mean,
Yeah.
they can't be working on the node for my neighbor's house. At least I don't think so. And by the way, it's 110 degrees in here. I can't turn on the air
I'm fine.
conditioner.
This is heaven. In my studio, it literally hits 110 degrees when I'm doing a show. So this is like paradise.
You look good, Andrew.
Thank you.
You really do.
Thank you.
Let's take a phone call. Let's see who this is. All right, so I have a new board here. Let me see if I can
Pot
pop
up
this
line
up.
4.
Hey, man, you're on the air. Who's this?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey,
Have
Joe.
I been fired as your sidekick, Spencer? I see a handsome young boy with you.
Absolutely
Is that
not.
your new sidekick, man?
Absolutely not. You're certainly not fired. I'm sorry if I
that's
look
your producer.
preoccupied. I'm trying to figure out my board here.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Hi, Andrew. I want to say you have, welcome California. You're having problems with your phone, Spencer. I hate to tell you that.
Yeah.
You're breaking up on the phone.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I hear you. I can make you out. I have a lot of news tonight. You probably can imagine.
All right. Well, let's say, give us your opening and then tell us some news.
Well, let's cut right to the... Andrew, thank God you made it safely to California. Glad
Thank
to
you.
see you look very well.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
good.
it.
You're a cute boy.
Thank you, Joe.
Hold on, Joe.
This is the bottom line. As we all know, the head...
You can't hear that.
Joe from Staten Island.
Excuse me.
Would you like to may reiterate it? Have you heard it? Excuse me.
Joe from Staten Island.
Joe, I don't even know if you heard that.
I've been on that for over a week.
Joe, we just played your opening. You couldn't hear us.
No, I found a problem.
I'm so sorry.
We discovered something.
That's definitely a problem. So, Joe, go ahead. I'm sorry. Start from the top.
I'll put my speaker on. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Start from the top, dude. Go ahead.
Say it again.
Start from the top.
No, he's listening to the show.
We discovered something.
This is unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
Joe, turn it off.
Joe, turn it off, dude. Joe, turn it off.
Wait.
Okay, you want to say it again now?
Joe, go
Okay.
ahead. Tell me the news.
The bottom line is, as you know, the next 10 days, the Hair Congress is meeting in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yes.
Colin Yehoda will be there. Adirond's personnel, Tushiki Labs, the list goes on and on. The
It's
major
exciting.
hair loss experts will be there. The bottom line is, we're putting this disease to rest once and for all. Are we going to have a viable treatment in the next year or two? Or are we going to go on and on with the same old bullshit? That's the question. I haven't slept in a week. I'm waiting desperately for an answer.
Joe,
even though certain people at BullTruth.com already have these answers, I don't believe anything they say. But I don't have to mention any names. You know what I'm talking about.
Joe, can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Joe?
Yes.
Okay, I can tell you this. I actually read the forum today, and I see there's some really interesting threads. Everyone wants a representative of the Bald Truth to go to the Congress. I will tell you this, that we are lucky enough to be privy to information.
You're breaking up, Spencer.
We are lucky enough to be privy to information. I have to pot you down, Joe. And, when the time is right, I hope that I will be able to speak directly to Colin Yehoda, who I do know, to Ken Washenik, and to other representatives of Adirond's. And maybe we can have the presentation that they are presenting at the Congress presented on Bald Truth Talk or through the Bald Truth. I will definitely see if that's a possibility. I mean, we did that with Jerry Cooley's presentation last year at the ISHRS, and usually it's not a problem. I will tell you that most of these companies, unfortunately, only have about 10, 15 minutes to actually make their presentation. We are fortunate enough to usually see the full presentation. And if it's okay with the company, then, we'll tape it and we'll put it out online. But I am usually privy to these presentations, or I have been in the past. So, we'll see. I will tell you that I don't think there's anything and don't. I'm just a messenger. I don't think there's anything groundbreaking at this stage. I think they're just going to be discussing the progress of their technology, which is great. But I don't think we're going to come back and people are going to get the news that they want, that a cure is here. And I hate to say that, Joe, but you know that's the reality.
I think he's listening to the feed.
Yeah, this sucks. What am I going to do? Joe, can you hear me?
I love that the phone lines don't work.
Yeah.
Spencer, I hear you better now. I couldn't hear you before.
All right, you hear me now. Well, maybe we have more bandwidth now. But
now,
again,
so you're saying your expert opinion. You don't expect I guess you have information that we don't. That something that's this could be the same old bullshit.
I don't think it's going to be the same old bullshit. We're going to learn about the progress of Adirans. We're going to learn about the progress of other technology. However, we are not going to have the news, in my view, from everything that I've heard, that everyone is pinning their hopes on. At least you're not going to get it from this conference. However, there will be some information, from what I understand, that's going to be compelling, and that's going to be interesting, and that's going to show that we're getting further along. And to me, that's great. I mean, but I see, I read the forum today, and I see what happens on the boards, and it's people are desperate. People are different. There's a great poster on Bald Truth Talk. Desmond 87? Is that it, Joe?
I mean, Desmond posting all these things. I mean, I don't know if the guy's real or what. I mean, he has no information. Where does he get this from?
I can tell you. I can tell you about this guy. This guy's a positive guy. He's a positive force on Bald Truth Talk, and I think that is so well needed. To combat all the negativity and all of the depression and just the.
Well, what gives him the right to post these timelines when we has absolutely no idea what he's talking about? He has no one has this information.
What gives him the right? He's just getting the information that everyone else has. He's just digging as deeply as anybody can, and putting the information that he can glean, from his research. You can do the same thing, Joe.
I can't hear you, Spencer. I'm sorry. Why?
You're a beautiful boy, Joe.
He's very handsome. He has a very nice body.
Very nice body.
Yeah, I could hardly hear you.
Yeah, dude, we're having trouble with the phone lines. It's very possible until this issue is solved. First of all, I'm going to try to get some hard lines put in here. But until this issue is solved, I may have to just do recorded versions of The Bald Truth. We may just have to do that. I had the opportunity. We were considering interviewing Dr. Cole this week. But I canceled that interview because Andrew Zarian was here, and we decided, it probably wouldn't be a great time.
It wouldn't be a good time.
At least I decided.
Not because of me. I mean, we just redid some of the stuff in the studio and working out the kinks.
Absolutely. And if I would have had him on the phone, we would have been fucked.
Like they can't hear the sound clips that you're playing, which is weird because yesterday it worked.
So they can't hear. Are you sure he just couldn't hear it?
No. Nobody could hear it.
Nobody could hear it.
No.
How is that possible?
It's recording because one of the auxes are probably not sending it to that Skype line.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
It was working yesterday.
I don't know if that actually did work.
Well, Spencer, you hear me now?
I do hear you, yes.
Colin Yehoda is supposed to be a speaker there in Edinburgh.
Yes.
And apparently what Desmond says is that, this is what he says, I don't know if it's true or false, I can't say. This is what Desmond has posted. I don't know if it's true or false. That Colin Yehoda is now regenerating hairs from person to person. And that in itself is a cure for hair loss.
Well,
that's a fact.
But that's based on his old research. He basically was able to regenerate his wife's hair on his forearm, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. So this isn't anything new.
But now he could do it in not one or two hairs. He could do thousands, hundreds of thousands of hairs from person to person. I mean, you take one hair, you make 100,000. I mean, if you could transplant hair from one person to another, you've cured hair loss.
Yeah.
I mean, do you agree with that, Spencer?
I absolutely agree with that. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can get Colin on the phone. And I haven't spoken to him in probably 8 years. And, we'll see. Well, he was always very shy about coming on the Bald Truth. He's kind of a introverted type of guy. Really nice guy, though. He's got an incredible head of hair. So I always found that ironic that he was so involved in the hair loss world. But, we'll see. Listen, I was so excited about what he was doing when I first got into this. When I wrote the original of The Bald Truth, he is one of the guys that I spoke with. Obviously, him and Angela Cristiano. And I met him. I met Colin through Dr. Cristiano. We had lunch. We hung out. We actually hung out at the hair conference in Washington, D.C. at the Mayflower Hotel in 1998. So it was pretty amazing to meet him. So, Joe, can you hear me now?
I hear you very, very weakly. I can make you out, Spencer. I understand what you're saying, but it's very, like, whispering. I'm trying to decipher it. You're talking about Dr. Colin Yohoda.
Joe, let me ask you. Is it breaking up or is it low to you?
It's very low, Andrew, very low.
Okay. I can fix that when we come back from break.
All right. Andrew, listen, I'm going to see if we can take another call, Joe. I'm going to put you on hold.
Let me say one thing quickly.
Yeah.
Say theoretically, you could perform 40,000 grafts on an O at 6. That would be a full out of hand. I mean, that would be fantastic.
Joe, we know this already. That's great, and obviously that's decent insight. But we know that's the case, and we've been waiting for that for a long time. So I hope that we can get to that point. We're having a lot of technical problems. Let's see if we can get them sorted out, guys. I apologize, but it is what it is. And I will tell you, Andrew, there's a good chance that the Bald Truth is going to have to be recorded and then reran by
we could do that.
GFQ for a while until we can get all these kinks out, taken care of. Joe, hold on for a second, all right? You ready, Joe? Can you hold? Hey, you're on the air. Can you hear me? Who's this?
Oh, my God. It's Brian from L.A. It's my fault, everybody. Every time I call, it gets choppy.
I cannot believe it, man. What's happening? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but while I was listening to the phone call with you and Joe, it was really choppy. Really choppy.
I apologize. Since I moved to this new place, this entire area is having a node problem. So basically, around the time I do the live show, it's the most busy time.
Oh, it's all the kids.
Yeah, so there's too much congestion. They're trying to fix it. They've been working on it for weeks. I don't know if it's ever going to be fixed, so it's very possible that I'm just going to have to run some hard lines in here, and hopefully, once we get one or two hard lines in here, we can take some calls again.
Well, your choppiness has subsided a little bit, but you're extremely low, and there's a lot of static. But I can make you out, so that's good.
Okay. So what's up?
I wanted to call in. I see. I don't know. Do you read your Facebook?
Not as often as I should.
I sent you a Facebook message in there because of our last conversation. I didn't really get the whole end of it, and kind of invite you back.
When did you send the message?
I think it was that day or the next day after we talked on the phone.
How rude of me! I'm so sorry. I have to check it out.
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I just wanted to, get out some information there that was just private to you. That way, if you ever did decide to come back and visit us over there, you'd know who to ask for and all that stuff. But it's in your Facebook inbox. But anyways, if you get your hold of it, I'll send you another one today.
Yeah, so, send me one now. So maybe I'll take Andrew Zarian to your place. When are you working?
Okay,
where are we going?
Do one now.
What are we doing?
When are you working?
Well, I've been working Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. I'll be working this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday would probably be the best time to come in. You'd have to put a request because it's kind of sometimes it's a little dead and they'll map out the floor ahead of time. So if you end up going into like a Sunday or a Saturday, Saturday's really busy. Friday's kind of hit and miss, and Sunday's usually tamer.
All right. Well, Andrew's not going to be here. But
where were we going?
We can't say.
Oh, we can't say.
We can't say.
Disneyland. Universal.
Yeah, Disneyland. Yeah, we're all going to take Space Mountain up there, and everybody bring your caps, bring your hats on.
Dude, I can't go on rides, dude. Are you kidding me? I can't get lap dances.
Oh, really?
I can't get lap dances, and I can't go on rides.
Lap dances, they just can't keep their hands out of your hair, huh?
Yeah, I can't do it. I haven't enjoyed a lap dance since 1989.
I tell you right now, I think those strippers that do that, I really think it's a way of them degrading you, because I think they have some angst when they're doing their job, because every time I've ever seen a stripper run their hands through a guy's hair, it's not like he's Fabio with a great head of hair and he looks great. It's like some dude who they just make look like he was ravaged by a pack of wolves by the time they're done with them.
And that's true. They're trying to humiliate us even more. We're already spending $1,000 just to have a naked broad dance on our lap.
You know what I think happens when they do that to your hair? They're literally grabbing onto the follicles and taking them back, and they make a joke out of it. They're like, look how many follicles I got.
Look what I did to this poor
Look what
guy.
I did to this poor guy. I got 15 strands of hair.
And they're calling us Norwoods in the back room.
They're calling us up, man. I don't know. I don't do the $1,000 strippers, so we're probably in different rooms.
Yeah, well, I don't either, actually. Like I said, I haven't had a lap dance since 1989, and back then, they weren't even lap dances. They were like table dances.
That's what they called them.
They were table dances, and there was like, now I think there's a huge influx of like Eastern European strippers.
Sure.
In my day, they were Brazilians. Those were the big the strippers back in the day. So it was a totally different world, man. But I kind of miss those days.
Yeah, it's. I think I spoke last time. Like, they kind of. I mean, they disgust me not because of what their profession, but just because they're not into me. They're into the money.
That's exactly it. But I kind of think that is. I mean, at least that's honest. Going in there, if you're stupid enough to believe that these girls are really into you, and they might be to some degree, but the bottom line is, if you're a cute guy to them, the job may be easier for them.
Sure.
But it's not. They're not that into it.
I was just at a strip club 2 weeks ago. My wife got a lap dance from one of the girls. They were having a whole discussion about like fake breasts and how much they paid for it. It was attractive to watch at one point, and then it just stopped being attractive. And it was like, so how much was the boob job?
Yeah, I'm not into that.
They were discussing leasing and financing of the jobs. It was the whole thing.
I don't want to walk around with a tent and not able to finish. It's a whole thing.
I've never gotten a lap dance. I find them very uncomfortable, even to watch.
Well, it's funny because you're just uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable because of my hair. You're just uncomfortable in general.
As a person, yeah.
Yeah. How did that happen to you? I mean, you look like you would be such a comfortable person.
No, I don't know. Well, when I have a couple of Percocets, I'll liven up a little bit. But.
Oh Jesus, you got to see this guy, man. You got to.
Well, I tell you, it's like going to a gourmet restaurant though, and they're putting out a platter of all this delicious smelling food, and you can't eat it.
Yes.
No. It's like there's something just inherently wrong with that because I'm not dropping at a strip club so I can add a bunch more images to my spank bank. That's not what I'm there for. It's like, but at the same time, I don't really feel comfortable, like, going further than that either, So that's why it doesn't really hold much. A strippers club holds purpose for me for bonding with my male friends. Like we all go, we say, oh, look at that bitch, oh, she's cool, and stuff like that. And
so you're not one of those guys that like creep into one of these places in the afternoon. The afternoon guys that go in there, they actually go there to get off.
That's really weird. Like what? But I don't understand the purpose of that.
The purpose of it is they're paying a woman who is probably hotter than their wife to grind on them.
Yeah,
and at least
go
ahead.
It's a case by case scenario. I'm sure. I mean, you'd have to look at each individual patron going in there. And I mean, if you see somebody who's kind of overweight, maybe has skin problems,
a lot of
just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
There's a lot that could do for him. He actually gets a physical hot woman to touch him, but I've had plenty of hot women touch me in every way that I want them to. So why do I need to, get fondled a little bit by somebody who's taking all this money out of me and really not going to finish the deed?
I hear you, bro. Like I said, I don't know because I can't get involved with that because of my terror of someone destroying this. Sham of a hairstyle. I mean, the hairspray. I mean, Andrew comes out and he's like, and I have a big house. I have a fairly big house. The entire place before I got, on the air tonight smells like hairspray.
Yeah.
He walks through. It's like he's breathing in this hairspray.
It's a great high. I actually stumbled onto something interesting in your place. I had no idea that there's like a little, like almost like a filter in your shower. Yeah. And it's you put finasteride and minoxidil in there, and it just rains on you. I think I've grown a bunch of hair.
That is so fucked up. It's so untrue. Also,
yeah, literally,
don't you wish
money is shooting out of your shower head onto your head and falling down the drain. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So, is it sick that I was counting how many strands of hair was falling in your shower today?
I don't think it's sick. Okay. That's what we do here at the compound. So listen, man, and you call yourself Michael on the air, right?
He's gone.
Dude, can you hear me? Oh, man, we lost you. 888-659-3727. Maybe we should try to fix
Yeah, go on a break. I can fix it right now.
Let's take a quick break. I'm going to see if we can, or Andrew's going to. Oh Jesus!
That was close.
That was close.
Jesus Christ!
Try to fix what's going on here. I have to kind of remember how to use this new board, guys. We're going to take a quick break. 888-659-3727. I'm really sorry about the phone lines. I'm telling you, I am going to call old school copper phone line company. What would that be? AT&T, I guess.
The Big Bell.
The Big Bell, old school. See if I can get some old school lines in the studio for next week's show, and hopefully that will solve the problem. Now, is the video okay? Are we getting?
We're all good.
Fucking Vonage, man. 888-659-3727. I'm Spencer Kobren here, and I didn't switch my camera. Sitting here with Andrew Zarian, who's actually in Los Angeles with me, hanging out at TBT Studios.
It's been fun.
It's a lot of fun, man. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
The winner of 7 prestigious Golden Forehead Awards.
My family's always arguing. It always starts off innocent and then it gets vicious right away. So I was like, hey, looks like you're losing some hair. At least my wife's not a whore.
Spencer David Kobren.
Hey guys, welcome back. 888-659-3727 is the toll-free number. I don't know if we're going to be able to take calls. We have all lines lit. It's great that you're calling in. I appreciate that.
I think it's because of me.
It probably is because of you. People can't get enough of Andrew Zarian. But hopefully by next week we're going to have everything fixed up. You see that I have a brand new board which has like 1 million knobs and sliders. And in order to do certain things, I have to run 2 sliders at once, and it's a whole thing. So there will be mistakes made. But that's the way that it is.
I fixed some of the other mistakes, so we should be all right now.
I hope so.
We should be okay.
I hope so. 888-659-3727. Let's go to the phones. Let's see if we can actually take a phone call. I hope that we can. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this? Hey, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, hi. Who's this?
Hey, how are you? This is Joe.
Joe who?
Oh, Joe from Boston.
Hey, Joe from Boston. How are you, man? Listen, I'm sorry. Our phone
Good.
Phone line's a little
nothing.
screwed up.
Just wanted to call and, I'm kind of new. I had never called before, and just kind of accidentally came across the radio. I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but I kind of accidentally found you, but I'm glad I did.
Well, I don't think... Hey, listen, everyone accidentally finds me. I mean, for crying out loud, it's the Bald Show. But it's okay. And I'm sorry, our phones are a little screwed up, so if you can let me know if you're having problems, but hopefully we can get to your question. So what's up? What can I do for you?
Well, I can hear you a little bit, but I'll do my best. Just wanted to tell you, I had a few hair transplants, and, everything came out really, really well. Very happy with it. Ended up going back on Finasteride.
Let me ask you, who did you have your transplant with?
I'm sorry?
Who did you have your hair transplant with?
Dr. Leonard.
All right, good. Good for you.
Yeah, you heard of him?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good doctor.
So tell me about your experience with Dr. Leonard. And when did you have your first hair transplant? And, what's your situation?
Back in 02.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 40 now. So I had it back in 02. And had a few more after that. And just very happy with it. And I just had the back done, the crown.
Well, I'm glad that you're happy with it, man. So what about your frontal hairline? Do you have how is that doing?
No, my the front is fine. If that's what you just asked,
it is.
Kind of had trouble hearing you. But
I'm so sorry. So you know what? Let's get to your question because you can't hear me that well. And let's get to your question. If you want, you could hang up and you can listen to us on the internet. I can answer your question.
Yeah. Well, I did take Propecia years ago when I was in my 30s, and I stopped. I didn't have any side effects, but I just stopped because I was hearing about side effects. But really worked really well for me, and I decided recently to go back on it, because I did lose some hair from the past few years that I wasn't on it. So decided to go back on it, but I'm taking Finasteride now, which I guess is the same thing that they say. And I'm just wondering, you think that I'll get back maybe, what I lost or...
Well, listen. Why don't you hang up and listen to me online so I can answer your question. You can hear me fully. Okay. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay. Hang up. I'll answer your question. Listen to me online right now, and I'll answer your question. All right.
All right. I'm sorry, Spence.
I'm sorry. Just it's not your fault. It's my fault. Hang up, and I'll answer your question right now. All right, dude?
All right, thank you.
All right, you got it.
He brings up a really interesting thing, and I've never heard someone. I've heard people, ask about if the side effects are true, but I've never heard someone say they weren't experiencing the side effects. They went online and they read about it, and they just stopped it totally.
Oh, dude, I hear that all the time.
It's scary. I mean, that happens because
I know a guy in the industry who actually he writes an industry inside industry paper, and he announced that because of the adverse side effects that he's been reading about, because of the long-term, possibly permanent adverse side effects that he's been reading about online, and because of a study that was published that, in my view, really wasn't much of a study. It was more of a survey of sorts. He decided to stop using the drug after 10 years, and he's had no side effects. So, I mean, it's more common than you think. It's unfortunate that's happening in my view, because to me, if it's working for you, you're not suffering any adverse side effects. I mean, and you haven't suffered for a long period of time. Why screw with it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And some of the side effects are, and I'm not saying before people think I'm saying that there are no side effects. I'm sure there are plenty of side effects. I just don't think it's the percentage of people that are claiming it. I think way more people, that sounds good actually. Yeah, a little lower. I think way more people are thinking that they're experiencing the side effects, and it's all psychological. I mean, the whole foggy brain thing, how people are terrified to take this drug because it causes brain fog. How can you determine what brain fog is? I wake up every day, and there are days that I'm really sharp, and there are days that I could barely put two words together.
Yeah, but
it happens to everybody.
But you're a drinker.
But I'm a drunk, so fine. But even if I don't drink, I mean, Spence, you do a radio. You've been doing this for 14 years.
Yeah,
I've been doing it for about 5 years. There are days I'm sober. I'll go on the air. I cannot articulate anything.
Right.
And there are days that I go on, and I'm like $1 million. It happens to everybody. I don't think it's the drug that's doing that.
Well, I don't know if it is or it isn't, to tell you the truth, but I know that at least statistically that the drug clinically has a very safe track record. Does not mean that these side effects are not occurring. Does not mean that these people with these adverse long-term side effects are not suffering with them. But I will tell you, in my personal experience, I've been on the drug for many years, about 20 years, as a matter of fact, at this point, taking Finasteride, just like our caller from Boston. I initially started on a 5 milligram dose of Proscar, and I've had a really great success without any adverse side effects that I'm aware of. I don't know what the fuck it's doing to my body. I don't know if I'm going to end up with some rare form of cancer. I don't know if it eventually, my prostate's going to explode. I have no idea, but I made that decision, and for me, it was a great decision. To get to the caller's question, do I think that he can recoup what he lost? I really think it depends. Finasteride is really best for preventing the further progression of hair loss. I myself had regrowth initially when I first started, the first year of Finasteride use back in 1994 or 5. I think it was 4.
How much regrowth? How much regrowth would you say you had?
For me, it was significant. I had actually, my sides were thinning too. And if you see me in person, and you do, I have fairly thick sides that come out pretty far. That was receding in this temporal region, and it was thinning. I also had a thinning crown, which is thin now, but it had basically all grown back. My hairline stayed the same for many years, and it's only been receding, slowly receding, I say again, for the last 7 or 8 years, but it's been very slow. So for me, it's been a miracle drug, and that's why I decided to do what I do and write The Bald Truth originally. But I don't think, I think that if you've done well on the drug before and you're using the same brand, in my view, I'm a brand whore. So I like Merck's drug. I understand why people would use a generic, but I'm a brand whore, and I don't like to switch. I've known guys who have switched from brand to generic who have all of a sudden started to go through like a telogen effluvium, and they're not doing well. So to answer the caller's question from Boston, and again, dude, I am so sorry. I hope to have these phones fixed by next week. I'm doing my best. I think you could certainly benefit from it. And again, I'm giving you this advice. I'm not a physician. So, realize that whatever advice I give you, it's not medical advice. But in my experience, I have known guys who have gotten off the drug for several years, who had experienced, results when they were on it. They may have decided to impregnate their wife or whatever. They got off the drug, they went back on it, and they saw good results. I don't know how much regrowth you're going to get, to tell you the truth. But the fact that you've had some good hair transplants and the fact that you've responded well in the past leads me to believe that you probably will respond well this time as well. So, but that's something you should talk to Dr. Leonard about, or whoever you're getting your Propecia or Finasteride prescription from. And again, I can't give you medical advice, but in my view, the stuff works, man. It really does. 888-659-3727. We're going to try to take another phone call. You know what, caller? Get your question in. You can hang up, and then I will answer you, and then you could listen online. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this?
Well, this is Mike. I thought I would listen and find out how things are working.
Not too well, Mike.
Mr. Mike Phillips.
Yeah,
how you doing, Mike?
But your aux in back to me is really low.
It is.
It is. Okay.
Really low.
All right. So that is something that hopefully Andrew can fix for me.
I potted up the lines. I cranked them up.
It's still low.
Because this is aux 1, so you need to turn up aux 1 on every channel, except for channel 4. So, Spence, you see aux 1? Now we're going to learn this. You see that thing under the white, aux 1, for your mic?
I can't see a thing.
You can't.
Right here?
Let's see. Hold on.
Right here.
Okay. Talk now.
All right. Can you? Well, now Mike is not on hold. Mike is actually potted up.
Keep going. Yeah, I am. Keep going.
Yeah. How's that?
Keep going.
How's that? Keep going. Keep going. How's that?
That'll work for now.
All right. And we'll try to fix it.
That'll help you with your next caller.
All right. Now, but the VoIP IP, the voice over IP is breaking up, so it is what it is.
It is. I think it's your bandwidth.
Yeah.
That sounds better, Mike? It's louder?
Yep.
I cranked it all the way. The gain is all the way cranked on the aux.
That's not where it's going to end up, but that's where it'll work for now.
Mike, man, I appreciate your help.
He's so cryptic with it. You see that? Very cryptic.
I love the guy. The fact that he would take the time to help us, and to help me, I really appreciate it, Mike.
Mike is the best.
Well, I wish I could help more. There's just too much distance between us, because if I were there, we'd nail that sucker.
Well, the truth of the matter is I'm surprised that you didn't come out with Andrew.
I'm not stupid.
Dude, I've been drinking
Turn me into an alcoholic.
I've been drinking for 3 days straight with this guy.
Good luck.
It's
you need
insane. All right, man. Listen, Mike, thanks a lot.
Yep.
All right, take care. 888-659-3727. So let's see if we can take this call. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this? All right. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this? Hey, you're on the air. Who's this? Now nobody could hear me. Can you hear me, sir? All right. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this?
That's me, Spencer. Am I on the air?
Holy shit. Where you been?
I hear you fantastically now.
Well,
look at that.
Maybe the bandwidth is better now.
No, I kind of figured out what it is.
You're coming great now.
That other box, other that one is fine. That one is the problem.
Can I get some airtime now?
So the first two are okay.
I have a lot of things to discuss.
No.
All right. So I'll give you a little airtime, then we're going to take some more calls.
What, Spencer?
Yes. Go ahead, Joe.
Now, first of all, we know the head conference coming in 2 weeks. I don't know what's going to come out of that. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Now, you've heard about biologics, okay?
Yeah.
This is supposedly an incredible company, okay? And you know our friend Dr. What's his name? Zarian is associated with this company.
Yes.
Are you aware of that, Spencer?
I am aware of it. I have the opportunity to speak to Craig Zarian on a fairly regular basis. Well, not regular. I mean, I have access to the guy. Let's put it that way.
I mean, biologics is supposed to be doing incredible things. It's injected into the scalp. It's supposed to be growing back full heads of hair, according to the company.
Well, I don't actually. I would say that that's questionable in my view, as far as growing back a full head of hair at this point. However,
now I'm losing you, Spencer.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, however, I do think that this is all.
Now I got you back.
This is all good news, and I want the guys to know, the guys that spend so much time in the message forums, and don't think that we don't appreciate that. You got to realize that you guys are spending this much time in the message forum. You're creating content, and you're creating content for other guys to, in some cases, get help. In other cases, maybe get confused. But it is creating a flow of information. It's creating a buzz about everything that's coming down the pike. I do think it's unfortunate, though, that so many people are kind of putting their lives on hold for what they think is coming down the pike tomorrow, when there are really great treatments. And I'm telling you, they are good. They work for a lot of people right now. Guys who are shit scared to take Finasteride, I think they're doing, in the long term, they could be doing themselves a disservice. However, I understand their fear of side effects, and I wouldn't want to be the guy to say, take this drug because, it's 100% safe, because it isn't. And I've never said that. I have talked about my experience and the fact that it is a relatively safe drug compared to all other drugs in the physician's desk reference. But there's a risk of side effects with whatever you do. But I hate the idea that people are putting their lives on hold and spending so much time in the message forums battling it out with, these potential treatments that haven't come to fruition yet.
Well, what I hate is that people...
What else we have to do? We're waiting for help. What else can we do?
Get a fucking wig. Get a wig, Joe. Live your life. Glue some hair on your head. Or get another transplant. Do something to live your life and get the fuck out of the house and get out of bed and enjoy yourself.
But, Joe, have you I don't know if he's ever said this. Have you worn a piece ever?
No, he won't wear a piece.
But, you don't know. Just go put one on and wear it for like a day. It might change your entire life.
I told Andrew, I haven't done it yet, but he's seen me wake up in the morning.
I did see him wake up in the morning.
With like crazy hair. He probably saw the baldness in the back to some degree.
I've evaluated your hair, Spencer.
I'm sure you have.
As Joe would say.
And I told him that I'm going to allow him in the painting process. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, can I paint a little bit in the front? Is that weird that I want to kind of paint a little bit?
I will tell you that if you start to paint, it's addictive, dude. You will never, because you're going to say, okay, now it looks like I have a completely full head of hair like a kid. You're not going to want to stop. So I know that you're going to become addicted to it. You have that personality.
Spencer, isn't it possible that something big is going to come out in the next 2 weeks out of the hair congress?
I don't think so. I think there's something possible. I think they're getting closer, and I think that we're going to get some good news. But I don't think it's going to be something that that's going to be, applicable to, someone who's dealing with their situation right now, today. And I'm just being honest. I find it interesting that, the guys on the forum, and again, I spent probably about an hour and a half reading different posts today because I try to spend Tuesdays doing that. And I see these threads where, they want, like I said, a representative from the Ball of Truth to go to the conference, and they're willing to take up a fund to send us there. First of all, we don't need a fund to go there. I certainly appreciate that, but we can get this information directly. We can do it via Skype. I can pick up the phone. We don't have to go to the conference. And frankly, going to the conference, you really only get a snapshot of the reality of their research. They are there just to present a very small excerpt, in a sense, of what they're doing. And to go to these conferences, and I've been to them. I got to tell you, man, it's just like it's like watching paint dry. It really is. And maybe it's because I'm not a scientist, but you would think that I would get a journalist pass to go to these things. There's only so much to report on, and yes, there will be some stuff.
What do you think that? Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
What do you think that? What do you think of Allergy? What's that from? What are they holding back on? Obviously they're holding it back on something. I don't know what's the deal with that is.
Joe, you ask the same questions all the time, and I appreciate the fact that you do. That you're so interested in this stuff, but I don't think they're holding anything back. I think that when the time is right, they're going to divulge what's going on. Like all these companies, there's certain companies that are willing to kind of maybe pander to the online community a little bit more. And there are companies, who want to kind of create a buzz, and I certainly understand that. But we will all know at the same time. So, worrying about it and, trying to get some sort of inside information by calling companies or what a lot of these guys do, I'm not going to say it's a waste of time, and I think that it's a good effort to try to help get more information out to the public. But believe me, they're not going to divulge anything until they divulge it to the mainstream press.
But these cats need hope, Spencer. This is the forums provide hope. We're all hoping the head Congress tells us something. We can't live this way anymore, Spencer. You can understand that.
And I'm all for providing hope, and that's why we have the forum to begin with, and that's why we do this program. It's all about hope, and it's all about getting information out to the public, and trying to get it out there in a timely fashion, and even trying to get some inside information, which we've done in the past. Unfortunately, I am now extremely limited as far as what I get on the message forum because of the insanity that ensues on the forum, because of these guys going out there and this is your favorite word, attacking the scientists, the researchers, the companies themselves. If the news isn't something that is compelling to certain individuals on the forum, it's terrible. Guys, they've had their names dragged through the mud simply because they were willing to open up and give us information that no one else in the mainstream media got. We had such great access. That access is diminishing because of the reaction of those in the message forums, and it's really unfortunate.
Well, Spencer, like Desmond, you're familiar with Desmond on the Bald Truth.
I'm very familiar with Desmond. I think Desmond appears to be a really good guy, and he's a very positive force on Bald Truth Talk. I happen to like reading his posts.
I think he is very positive, very intelligent, but I have one criticism from him, though, if you don't mind me criticism. One just criticism.
Well, you can criticize.
I don't think it's fair that he gives out timelines when he has no idea what he's talking about. I mean, no one knows the timeline.
Look, I do.
How can he make timelines up?
Joe, I think that he's trying to provide a little bit of hope, and he's just providing information that he is gleaning from whatever research he's doing. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what there's something wrong with? In my view, guys that are going out and trying to destroy the reputation of these companies, guys who are going out who are, making, these really inaccurate inferences that, or direct commentary about, stuff that's going on in that world of in that part of the industry, when they really don't know why certain things are happening or aren't happening. The fact that people aren't coming back online to present images, the fact that they're not coming online to present patients. Honestly, I know why that is, and I've been told this. In some cases, I've been told certain things in confidence, but this I can share with you. These people do not want to put their necks on the line and present stuff to a bunch of fucking lunatics. And that's what one guy from a major company told me. That's a problem. That is a problem. It stifles my ability to get this information out to the public. It's fucked up. It really is. It disappoints me. And frankly, for a relatively small group of extremely vocal people who don't know shit, it's ruining it for everybody else.
No, I understand. I definitely understand. I definitely understand you're saying. But in my opinion, is if someone has something that really works, they'll set up shop offshore and make billions. Why fool around the FDA? Who needs them? Go to Bahamas. The sufferers will go anywhere. Am I correct?
Well, no, you kind of do need the FDA. You need to be approved so you reach the masses. If something isn't FDA approved, that means it possibly might not work.
Andrew, why do you need the FDA for? You should set up shop in the Bahamas. You have 3 countries in the Bahamas. You have sufferers there every day.
So you think
correct?
You think millions of people are going to flock to the Bahamas to go get the drug?
I actually, I don't disagree with Joe as far as the numbers. I mean, it would be people would be losing their minds if something like that was possible. But there's a certain level of legitimacy that some of the bigger companies obviously want to garner, and they're thinking about the long run. They're not thinking about just opening up a clinic and getting a couple 100,000, which is they make incredible money, but getting a couple 100,000 people over a 10-year span to use their technology.
these companies are thinking about, the big payoff. They're thinking about.
Do you realize what the economic implications are for these foreign countries if they have these clinics in their countries? It would change their economy. Am I correct, Spencer?
Yeah, I agree. Yes, it would.
I guess, but I mean, how are you going to be able to market something and reach something if you're not FDA approved in the country? I think it's a large percentage. Yes, many people are going to go out and do it, but there's many people that are going to be that will not go and do it.
Well, I think that it definitely, if you do it the right way, If you do it if you need FDA approval for a certain technology, then having that FDA approval really adds a tremendous amount of credibility worldwide. So even if they open up clinics in the Bahamas, even if they open up clinics offshore, having the ability to market it as an FDA-approved process is going to be, or even an FDA-cleared process, which really gets confused with FDA approval, is just going to make it that much more palatable to a lot of hair loss sufferers. But I don't disagree with you, Joe. I think that you're actually correct. Thousands upon thousands of people would do it. I would do it. I'd be on a plane tomorrow. I'd move down there. If it's something that I would need it, say I needed, if I needed like a successive, if that's the word, treatment, I can't think 'cause I'm drinking, where it would take several months or several weeks to get it done, I'd get a place in the Bahamas. I'd hang out, So I have to pot Joe down.
What is he doing?
He talks to his kid. His kid screams on the air. Joe, listen,
Sanity.
man, I'll put you on hold. You can hang out. But listen to us online because you're probably not going to be able to hear us too well on the phone. 888-659-3727. Let's see if we can listen to this call. If this caller could actually hear us. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this? Hey, man, what's up? You're on the air. Can you hear us? Hola. Hello. All right.
We hear you.
We hear you, but you can't hear us. 888-659-3727. It is frustrating. Got a busy show.
It's a busy show.
It's a busy fucking show, and you can't take a call. But what are you going to do? I do want to thank Andrew Zarian for coming out here, and besides obviously being my friend, and kind of being like the son that I never had.
Well, thank you, Spence.
Well, it's true. It's true. You are basically young enough to be my child, which is kind of scary.
People are asking if Jessica's here. No, my wife is back in New York.
Yes. He came out by himself. And I think it's been it's been enlightening, actually. You've been, asking about prices of homes. And
I have been asking about prices of homes.
And condos or whatever, and houses, and you're trying to figure out whether or not you want to move out here.
I would move out here. I actually like it a lot. I like it a lot compared to New York.
I love Southern California. I really do, dude. But the taxes will eat you fucking alive. It will eat you alive. People are moving from California because of what's going on. And if you are anything but a quasi-socialist,
okay,
here in Southern California,
which I don't consider myself one,
right? You're probably going to have some issues. I mean,
I lean a little bit to the other side.
Just socializing here is not that easy. You have to basically watch Fox News in your basement because you're gonna get lynched. So, so I know that you definitely lean a little bit more to the conservative side. So, I mean, everything is a lot different here. But you cannot beat the weather. You cannot beat the women. I will tell you that. And I have a wonderful, beautiful native Southern California girl. And I will tell you that I feel like I'm the luckiest man in the world. You don't meet women like that in New York.
No,
except for Jess. Jess is, she's a very unique specimen. She's a cool chick.
I actually have been enjoying the conversation with Common Law because we've been discussing cleaning products. We've been discussing mops, vacuums.
She's big into cleaning.
Very big into cleaning, and so am I. And she took out the steam mop, and that was it for me.
Let me tell you something. Once we got the steam mop, her life seemed to have changed completely. I mean, she is just like, and we have. You said something that I appreciate. You said you walked into the house that has no smell.
No smell.
Which is really unusual.
It's almost it's unusual to the point that like there's always some sort of smell.
Right.
Like my cousin's house smells like cooking. They're always cooking something.
Yeah.
My house smells like Febreze.
Yeah. My dad's house smells like old people.
That's awful.
It's it's funny when I came back. I was there for a month. You remember when I was back in New York for a month? My dad was ill, and I was taking care of him, going back and forth in the hospital. And I came back, and common law said that I smelled like an old lady, and she couldn't get the smell. I had to shower multiple times. She almost burnt my clothes. I'm not even joking. She said it was just so awful, and that really bums me out because I was out. I was hanging out with you guys, hanging out with other friends from New York.
I didn't notice a thing.
I mean, was I smelling like an old lady?
No. A little Chanel No. 5, but it's all right.
I mean, that's pretty old.
Yeah.
My mother, let her rest in peace, used to wear that. Anyway, 888-659-3727. I'm kind of glad that we didn't have Dr. John Cole on tonight because it would have been very difficult to have a conversation with him. Hopefully, if I can fix everything and get the phone lines working, I can have John Cole, who is... he's known obviously for really evolving his practice to complete FUE, which he calls it FIT. And he is, claiming now that he's using products like ACell and, doing some other things, working on some technology. And he claims he's getting some donor regeneration in his own practice. I want to get down to the bottom of that and really have the opportunity to have people contact him and answer questions through the show. Obviously, tonight wouldn't have been a good night, so hopefully we can have him on next week. Let's take a quick break. 888-659-3727 is the toll-free number. I have to move my laptop now in order to run this board, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but I think I can make it work. Again, 888-659-3727. I'm Spencer Kobren here with Andrew Zarian, the king of the Guys from Queens Network. I was going to say king of Queens.
Gays from Queens, it doesn't matter.
Whatever. The guy, by the way, Andrew just got a very prestigious award, which I'm proud of because he's kind of like my stepson. Why don't you tell everybody what happened?
I was given an award by Queens College, and it was the best tech sector business for 2013.
How fucking awesome is that? You just started this thing.
Yeah, and I have a whole story about the entire process. Jessica's grandfather started yelling at the congressman.
Well, and there's some other stories. I think there's a little bit of hate going on now in the industry.
A little bit. I don't know.
Because you're getting some notoriety that I think certain people in the industry really don't think you deserve for whatever reason.
I haven't paid my dues, apparently. That's what I heard.
Oh, you know what, though?
Yeah.
Dude, I think 5 years is paying your dues. The fact that this is all you do. You work your fucking balls off.
It's all right.
To do what you do.
Listen, maybe I'll one day I'll move up to becoming a weekender for 30 years.
Oh my God, that's wrong. I was a weekender, dude.
I'm sorry.
That's painful. 888-659-3727. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
The winner of 7 prestigious Golden Forehead Awards.
My family's always arguing. It always starts off innocent and then it gets vicious right away. So I was like, hey, looks like you're losing some hair. At least my wife's not a whore.
Spencer David Kobren.
Hey guys, welcome back. 888-659-3727 is a toll-free number. Great to be here with my boy, my stepson, the boss of the GFQ Network, Andrew Zarian.
I love that clip, by the way, the bald spot.
It's awesome.
I think that is one of an all-time radio, and I'm a big radio fan, one of the greatest things I've ever heard.
Effing awesome, man. You know what I don't understand about Larry King? Why was he so
angry?
Just angry and resistant. Listen, we all know. I'm not saying that for a fact, but we all think. And you were already an old guy at that point. The fact that you were able, allegedly, to paint your bald spot and still look like you have some hair on your head is a pretty good thing. Don't make a big deal out of it. I paint my bald spot. I've been talking about this since I was in my mid-30s. Never ashamed of it.
Paint your bald spot?
I do. Why would I be ashamed of something like that? When women go out there and they're wearing full war paint and regalia just to leave the fucking house.
But that's amazing to me. That entire thing, exactly what you said, is amazing. The fact that teenage girls that do not need makeup, from the age of 12 years old, they're trained, they're told, put on lipstick, put on makeup. This is what you have to do to be attractive.
Right.
A guy paints his bald spot, and all of a sudden they want to burn him at the cross.
Yeah. All of a sudden, there's something wrong with us. All of a sudden, we're vain. Oh my God, he puts makeup on his head. And you would hear that shit from a woman who literally shaves off her fucking eyebrows and paints them back on. You know what I mean?
But you know what's interesting? Even guys do it to guys. Like, there's like a subgroup of like human beings that are obviously below living conditions that they find putting gel in your hair as bizarre and flamboyant.
Yeah, that's
like that's weird to them. Like, why you put gel in your hair?
I can. There's definitely a certain element, certain type of guy that is just.
Thick necks. That's what I call them.
They're just, they find any type of that type of grooming. Putting something that is not natural. Yeah, they shower. They probably clip their nails and stuff like that and shave. But doing something to improve the quality of your appearance, like, hairspray it's difficult for them to digest. I understand that.
I have a friend that's like that, and I called him a sufferer once, and it destroyed him, so...
Now, you call him a sufferer because he is a sufferer?
No, he is a sufferer.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize it, though.
Why doesn't he realize it? How do you realize it and he doesn't realize it?
He knows. He's one of these guys that ignores the entire thing. He's like, I don't care. I'll shave my head. I'm like, how come you're not shaving your head and you're just combing it to the side?
Yeah. Why are you covering it up?
Yeah, why are you covering it up? Shave your head.
And that's another thing. I get shit about covering it up. But I get shit from people who are obsessed with hair loss to the point that they spend 20 hours a day on a message forum, but they give me shit for wearing my hair a certain way because I'm concerned about it. And I think about what the fuck is wrong with these guys.
I think it's a fascinating thing. I mean, the entire psychology behind hair loss and the effects that it has on somebody. To kind of go back to the Propecia stuff, a lot of these guys that are claiming that their dick isn't working anymore. And I said it once on Bald True Talk, and I got like torn apart in like the chat like the following week. I said I would love to see those studies that people are saying like so many people are complaining. What's their condition like? How old are they? What's their eating habits? What's their stress factor? And how attractive are their wives?
I would say the how attractive are their wives.
I think that plays a huge part in it. Huge part.
You know what plays a huge part in it? The fact that they're hyper concerned about it. And listen, I believe that I'm going to say it again. I believe that these side effects are occurring. I believe that there are effects that the guys are having that were not listed in the clinical trials. That's all reasonable because every drug has, the post-trial like kind of application side effects. That's just the way that it is. But think about women who have been taking birth control for years. Think about the tremendous amount of sexual dysfunction in women who are taking
weight gain, depression,
different forms of birth control. And I mean, to the point where there is some concern about possible long-term permanent adverse side effects. There are women who go on different hormonal treatments, whether it's birth control or other treatments, that claim to have these issues, and they may be real, they may not be real. But you're not seeing the lawsuits about, at least about the sexual adverse side effects of birth control pills. Why is that? You know why it is? Because women, aren't necessarily, when it comes to their sexuality, they're not necessarily taken seriously. And the lawyers who are willing to go out there and file these lawsuits are like, well, that's really subjective. How do you know a woman isn't having, is having sexual adverse side effects or adverse sexual side effects? A man is a lot more easy to determine because he can't get it up.
Yeah, but I mean, something causes that. I mean,
you know what? I forgot to switch the camera. Okay. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. I mean, anything. There's so many factors that come into play, but that we have to actually eliminate other things before saying this drug. And listen, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm sure it does. But
I know it does.
I think majority of the people complaining are complaining because it's something else that's factoring in.
I'll tell you how the guys that just take one pill and believe that they've been permanently screwed up.
And I see those.
I just think that's questionable. I'm not saying that these particular guys aren't suffering with real adverse side effects. It just appears to be questionable It doesn't seem to make any sense.
Listen, I was on it for a month.
Yes, you were.
I wish I never came off of it, and I came off of it because I didn't feel that my hair was thinning anymore.
Right.
And I just stopped. I wish I never did because I could have kept some more of my hair, but I never had a side effect.
Right.
And I'll tell you, you know when I started freaking out about the side effects? When I went online and I read about them, and I said, wow, this could happen to me.
Oh, I know.
That's the only time, but I guess for whatever reason, I convinced myself that this won't happen, and I'm being too paranoid about it.
I will tell you, I was taking I had a bacterial infection. I was taking a very well-known antibiotic that is extremely strong, and I took it for one round, and I was feeling better, but I started to read about it, and the shit that I read scared the living daylights out of me. Yeah. I decided not to take it. I called my doctor.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about it. I'll put the camera on me, and he was like, "Well, you know what? They're relatively rare. Yes, you're going to read a lot about this stuff on the internet," and it freaked me out. I stopped taking it. I changed my lifestyle for a short period of time, and I healed, which is great. So that was a good thing, but it's probably pretty unlikely I would have had any adverse side effects from this particular antibiotic, even if I was on it for 2 weeks, or even if I was on it for a month. But I am that type of person too. I understand how easy it is to be psychologically affected by what you read on the internet. I would say that most people in my life, at least at one point in my life, would have described me as quasi-hypochondriacal.
Sure, I mean,
for sure.
I'm kind of the same way too.
Yeah,
but I kind of knew that it wasn't going to happen. I mean, listen, I take 2 Tylenol PMs, and I think this may be the last time I ever live. I think that every time I take a Tylenol
but
PM,
you're kind of looking forward to that.
But I'm kind of looking forward to not waking up.
You're willing to take that bet.
Yeah, I'll take that risk.
Well, I've never met anybody that actually, like kind of slips pills in his mouth.
The way I do.
The way that you do.
It's an art, man.
It's kind of like all of a sudden I turn around, we're at a restaurant or a bar, and he's like, he's just putting this thing in his mouth, and I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, nothing.
And I let it dissolve like nitroglycerin under my tongue.
Yeah, he puts it under his tongue, and whatever it is.
My heart medication.
It's fucking awesome. 888-659-3727. Let's try to take a phone call. Let's see if we can take this call. Hello, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello, Spence.
Yes.
Hey, this is Joe calling again from Boston.
Joe, I'm so sorry if we're having. Were you able to hear my answer to your question? Was that okay?
A little bit, yeah, and I did hear a little bit of it, yeah. From what I understand, finasteride and Propecia are supposed to be actually the same thing.
They are. They're exact same drug.
I know you're not big on switching. Yeah.
Well, no, it depends. It depends. If you're switching to brand, I'm again, I'm not a doctor. To me, that's fine. If you're switching from brand name Propecia to generic finasteride, then that's something that for most people, I think they're going to be fine. But it really depends on the brand of generic, the company you get the generic from. Just make sure make sure it's a legitimate company. I am not a fan of, and again, this is just my opinion, so do not send me a lawyer's letter. I'm not a fan of getting generics from countries like India, or just buying something online without getting the generic directly prescribed to you and going to a drugstore.
Okay. My other thing is I'm 40 years old. I'm going to be 41 in a couple of weeks, and I'm just wondering, do you think the drug will be as effective for me at my age? I mean, from what I've been reading, most of my hair loss is probably already over and done with. Is that true? Will it be as effective now at 40 or 41 than it was when I was in my early 30s taking the drug?
Well, that's a good question. I really think it depends on the person. Some guys actually start to bald in their 40s, and it could be pretty aggressive. But there is a school of thought. Again, I'm not a doctor. That will physicians will tell you that once you're past a certain age, because your testosterone levels are slightly lower, and because your body is functioning differently, you're probably you're probably converting less testosterone into dehydrotestosterone. So there's a good chance that once you're in your 40s or 50s, that, in my view, a drug like this could be even more effective. But again, I'm not a doctor. A lot of guys, I actually have a neighbor who kept his hair most of his life, and then who's about 42 years old, started to lose it aggressively. He got on finasteride, and not only did it stop, it grew back. Actually, probably he had the best results I've ever seen. But again, it's all anecdotal. There's no clinical trial showing this, and it's just, from the information that, people have told me. But it does make sense. It certainly makes sense that if your testosterone levels are lessened, that they're diminishing, that you're going to be converting less testosterone into DHT, and that if you're blocking the enzyme that converts it, and it's not a really strong genetic trait to lose your hair aggressively, that you're going to respond better. But again, you should talk to Dr. Leonard about it. But I mean, did you get your prescription from him, or do you go to another doctor?
Well, that's I'm glad you asked me that. The Propecia itself was a lot of money. It was close to $1,000 a year, and I'm getting the Finasteride 1 milligram for $25 for a 90-day supply.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. But like I said, I was on Propecia when I was in my early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, and it really did work. But then I've been off it for so long that I just figured now taking maybe the Finasteride 1 milligram, probably, I mean, it's been so long since I took the Propecia, I don't know if it's really going to make a big difference of switching from name brand to, generic.
You know what? And that makes sense. So now, to me, you have nothing to lose. So it's not like you've been it's not like you've been on the drug and then you're switching. You've been off the drug for so long, you're basically starting new. So you're in a position where I think it's fine to start off with the generic.
You know what, Spencer? I'm just going to take it for a year and see what happens anyways. But, he wouldn't, I think he's pretty ethical because he wouldn't touch my crown area until I was at least 40.
Yeah.
He really wouldn't. And I begged him for years, just do the back. Because he did the front and the middle, and it looks great. But you know what? After a while, I said, it's starting to almost look like a wave. Like I get all that hair up front now, but it dips down. There's nothing in the back. So he wouldn't touch me in the back until I was, at least 40 years old. So
I think it's great. Listen, Dr. Leonard, I think, his practice has evolved so much over the years, and I've spoken to so many people just like you who have had good results from him. Every once in a while you'll see some shit about some of the old stuff that was being done because he's been doing it for so long. So the technology just hasn't evolved. But I love hearing guys who call in who've been to Dr. Leonard, like yourself, who can say, honestly, listen, I've had a great experience. So I think it's great, man. I'm happy for you, and I do think the fact that he said, I'm going to hold off. I don't think I should operate on you until you're a certain age. That, to me, that is very ethical.
Yeah, and I did hear or saw that you call the crown area like the black hole. I mean,
yes.
I'm hoping, he told me straight out before he did my surgery, he told me that, look, Joe, you've had a few up front. He said, you got nice density, but doing your back, because that was the last one I was going to do, what I just did. I just did it over, over like a month ago. But he had said, don't expect, major density like the front of your head.
Right.
He said it comes in different in the back. He said it grows in different. He said, but it will be a difference. It's not going to be as bald as it is, but, don't expect, crazy growth, which, you know what? I still did it. I didn't care because it just, the back of my head was so bare compared to the front that I just said, I said, F it. I'm doing it.
Yeah, fuck it.
And,
at this point, if you trust the doctor and he's being honest with you and he's telling you, hey, listen, you're not going to get the same result. You're not going to get the same bang for your buck, so to speak, in the crown, something I've said forever. I think that's ethical, that's honest, and he's setting you up for realistic expectations.
Right.
So,
right. And, I'm like I said, I'm going to do the Finasteride for the year, probably the road game maybe once a day, and I'm going to see how this grows in. And like I said at the beginning when I called the first time, I kind of accidentally came across you, but I'm glad I did, and I just want to thank you, and I'm, going to listen as much as I can. I'm really glad and surprised I actually got through, too.
Well, I'm glad you did, and I apologize for our phone problems, but hopefully next time you call in, it's going to be crystal clear.
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right,
and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I really appreciate you taking my call, and great shows.
You got it, man. Sorry, I just hung up.
He's a good caller, man.
I'm so sorry. Listen,
He's a good caller.
Yeah, great caller, great guy. I'm glad you did well with Dr. Leonard. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm sorry that I just accidentally hung up on you. Let's take another call.
And those are the stories that you like to hear. You know what I mean? Like he's calling and saying, like, it was good for me. The experience was positive. And it's good to hear that rather than, it was awful. I hated it.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting about this field and about this industry. I would say that in the last 5 years, especially, the vast majority of people that contact us, especially behind the scenes, are happy individuals.
Yeah.
The guys that are out there banging their drums, doing their thing, who are really unhappy, it's unfortunate because, shit happens. That's why I tell people, if you could avoid surgery, don't have it. I tell people every time they call.
It's a major risk.
It is a risk, dude. And I don't care. I say, I make money from the hair transplant industry. I recommend doctors for many years. Doctors pay to be part of my organization. And I will never, ever sell anybody surgery. Ever. If someone asks me how they can avoid surgery, I will tell them how to avoid surgery. If someone asks me, if they should get surgery, if they're 28, 29 years old, I'll say, fuck it, man, wait. Yeah. You got plenty of time. You don't need to rush into it. Glue on a hairpiece first. Try something like that.
Absolutely. One of my friends, Jessica's best friend's brother has had multiple hair transplants. And he lost his hair very young. At 16, he was already very thin. He got his first transplant at 22, 23. The guy ruined him. I don't want to say who it is, but the guy ruined him.
Yeah.
He went back to him. Didn't do a good job.
Is this the guy that ended up going to Feller and getting fixed?
Yes, he went to Feller. Feller saved his life. And this guy was suffering from severe depression. He lost about 25 pounds. This was a guy that was jacked up. Good-looking kid.
Yeah.
He was devastated because he went in there with the expectation he's going to come out with a full head of hair.
Right.
And what he came back with was an awful linear scar.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed it to me. He lifted his hair in the back, and the thing was jacked up, and Feller did a lot of repair work on him.
Yeah.
But he said Feller saved his life, and it wasn't for Feller. He doesn't know where he would be in his life. The guy, by the way, works for the government, and he works on missiles.
Oh, wow.
He's an engineer. So this guy got his life together after that.
That's not an atypical story.
And he has your book, by the way.
Well, and I wish he would have purchased my book before he had his surgery years ago, because he would have not had surgery. And the truth is, if there's an 18-year-old kid out there, a 20-year-old kid who thinks that hair transplant surgery is going to save their life or change their life, I don't care. Even with the technology that we have today, you are far too young to have this done. You have no idea what's going to happen in the future.
I think a lot of us have to get out of that mindset that there will be one cure. I don't think there will be one cure. I think there's going to be multiple treatments that actually help significantly with hair loss, but I don't see there being this one mega cure that solves the problem. It could be a combination of, different types of therapies and medications and possibly hair transplants. I think that's going to be the end result.
I think that for a lot of people, it's going to be a kind of a multiple array of different treatments. I think that hopefully genetic engineering of sorts will help younger patients avoid hair loss entirely.
Listen, we're able to now genetically predetermine what eye color our kids are going to have. You could go in there and say, I want my kid to have blue eyes, and your kid will have blue eyes. Why can't they go in there and say, okay, you know what, we found the gene. This is it. We're going to eliminate it.
Well, that's the point. That's what they're working on for sure. That is, truly the holy grail of hair loss.
But who's going to go do it? You know what I mean? Like, it has to be someone that's affected by it to go do something like that.
Believe me, I can guarantee you that if someone like Joe from Staten Island decided to have another child, he would have made sure that if this was a possibility, that the child was genetically engineered. Well, he wants his kid
his kid to suffer like him.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
888-659-3727. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, Spencer.
Hey, who's this?
You paint your pube hair? Do you paint your pube hair? Is that what you do?
Sometimes I do.
This is Brian from L.A. I'm calling you back.
Hey, Brian. So is the phone line any better?
Yeah, it's a little better. It goes in and out. You keep calling me Michael, but it's always been Brian.
Whatever. I can't. Dude, I'm loaded. I'm loaded at this point.
Well, I just wanted to call back. I left you that message on Facebook. If you want to check it out,
I will.
And want to say I've been listening to the show. So I know you're probably pulling your hair out, for lack of a better expression, over the phone lines. But after listening to it, I think it might have something to do with either the volume of your phone calls, or maybe I don't know if it has to do with like bandwidth, because it'll come in cycles. Like it'll chop up really bad, and then it'll clear up for a while, and then it'll go low. So it seems like it's like a flow, like some sort of. It's not a consistent thing, so I don't know if that helps you troubleshoot it.
It does. I definitely think it's my bandwidth. And I'm looking to see your message, and I don't know. Are you messaging some other Spencer Kobren? I don't think there is another one, but.
How about you give me some? Is there a generic email I can send in a message to?
Well, I'm just curious. Who are you messaging? Because I'm looking at right now. I mean, I'm looking at my messages. It would come in, on my.
Check the others folder.
Others.
It says it says Spencer Kobren on mobile. Let's see here. Yeah, it says Spencer Kobren. It shows a picture of you.
Yeah,
it should be in your personal.
That is
personal inbox. Maybe chat. I don't know. Would it be chat?
That is mine. It's possible.
I'll find it later. Don't worry.
All right.
I'll fix it.
He calls me, he says I have old man hands because I drop stuff and I can't figure things out.
Okay, I just sent you, you know what it was? I sent you a chat bubble earlier today. I just sent you an inbox message, so it should be in your Facebook inbox.
All right, that's cool. We'll check it out.
All right. Hey, I'll try and call next week. Hopefully the lines are fixed and we can have a good chat. I wanted to get online with Joe still and kind of go head-to-head with him.
Yeah, that would be great, man. That would be great. Brian, Michael, whatever your name is, I appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
Andrew, earlier Andrew said had a flub of a word. He said regirth, and I was like, I want to take that pill. I need some new girth there.
Yeah,
well, we all could use some
absolutely
girth.
I could use regirth and regrowth. Period.
We could use the
regirth,
deal.
the pill that really helps that counteracts whatever people will say about the other one.
Yeah, I don't need regirth. I need new girth.
New girth.
Yeah.
Extra girth.
Yeah.
More girth.
All right, man.
All right, man. You
All
guys
right.
have a good show. Talk to you later.
All right, take care. Thanks. 888-659-3. I'm telling you, 3727. He's sending Facebook to somebody else or LinkedIn or something because I'm not getting shit.
I'll fix it. It's okay.
How are you going to fix it?
I fix everything.
How could I not figure this out?
I don't know. That's a very good question.
I mean, I'm on Facebook right now. I don't know. I mean, come on.
Did you check the others folder?
Others. Where would it, others? There's no others folder.
Okay. If you say so.
What are you talking about?
I'll find it. There's a folder that says others.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. 888-659-3727. I'm Spencer Kobren here with Andrew Zarian live at the TBT studios at my home in Los Angeles, having a great time. Again, the phone number, 888-65. You got talking to the mic, though. 888-659.
Oh, yeah. I forgot how to do radio.
3727. I'm Spencer Kobren. We'll be right back after this brief message. Stay with us.
Coast to coast and worldwide.
I just want to say, you guys are doing a great thing. It's such an uncomfortable topic to talk about, especially for a guy, young guys in their early 20s. And, I'm glad that, I could tune in and, listen to you guys.
Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey, guys, welcome back. I got to learn how to work this thing.
You're getting there.
888-659-3727. I'm Spencer Kobren. Here with Andrew Zarian from the guys from Queens Network.
Hey, buddy.
It is awesome that Andrew is here in studio with me.
I think I'll be here every week.
Yeah, that's what I'm fucking afraid of, dude.
Listen, there's a couple homes for sale. I may want something.
I got to tell you, as soon as you came out here, you were hanging out in the sunshine, sitting out back. We were probably there because you just got here, so it was new for you.
Listen, the truth is,
we were there for 8 hours.
I have to confess something. I have not been staying with Spencer. Today's my first day out. I was at Passages Malibu for 4 days.
We were considering having an intervention But then I decided, you know what? I wouldn't have had fun if you were.
You know, for
drinking.
a split second.
Yeah.
When Jessica was like, you should go to Spencer, and then Spencer's like, oh no, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Just come stay with me.
Yeah.
I was like, I guarantee you, I'm gonna get off the plane. Spencer's gonna pick me up. We're gonna be in the car, and I'm gonna be like, isn't that where you're supposed to go? Get off. And you go, we're not going to my house.
All of a sudden, like some crazy wrinkled faced woman would pops
out from the back of the car.
Yeah, former drug addict, now a
counselor.
Counselor. Thank you for that. Jesus.
You know, it's almost there. But I don't drink that much. Have you noticed that?
You know, it's surprising. I drank 2 beers during the broadcast, and you drank 1.
Yeah.
Now,
you know why?
Because you're slipping pills.
No, I haven't taken any pills. I get very uncomfortable drinking and going out.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
I know we're going to go out, so I can't drink.
So what happens? You drink when we go out, though?
I'll drink when we go out, and I'll drink when we get back.
That's actually very funny, because when we got back last night,
I drank.
You were like pouring everybody drinks.
Yeah.
And you were at the fridge getting that wine probably every 12 minutes.
Yeah, no, I have this weird thing. I can't be drunk in public.
Yeah, but you drink outside. We went to the bar.
We did, but I had 1 drink.
Yeah, that's true.
And the night before, I had 1 drink.
That's true.
I only drank when we hung out at the house.
And then you drink. Then that's when you rip into it.
Isn't that interesting? It says something.
You're on the down low, dude.
Yeah.
That's what you're on the down low, but you talk about it all the time. You're very open about it.
Well, because it's radio. You know, I could say things like, because we're on the radio, I could obviously say things like a TSA agent refused to give me a pat-down search, and I dropped a razor blade in front of him, and he didn't even acknowledge it.
Right, because it's embellished.
Yeah, I mean, things like that can't possibly happen. Like I can't say I don't feel comfortable going through your poison detector.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get radiation in my body, so I'm gonna selectively request a pat down. And they said, I don't have time for this. Just give me your wallet. And they did this bendy thing with my wallet. And as he's handing my wallet back,
a cocaine razor falls.
A cocaine razor blade,
right.
Still sealed, by the way, falls out of my wallet. He looks at it, looks at me, doesn't say a word. 15 other people around me see what happened, don't say a word. I take the razor, put it back in my wallet, and I walk onto the plane. But I could say things like that on the radio
because it can't be true.
It can't be true.
Guys, we're gonna wrap up. For my Facebook guys, the guys that have been messaging me on Facebook for like the last 5 years, or whatever, I really apologize because
we just found that.
I had no fucking clue that there was an other folder. So thank you, Brian or Michael, whatever your name is, for letting me know that you did try to send me a message and I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Because
you found it. You found that message.
It was actually Andrew Zarian helped me find that message. I had no idea there was another area in the message. And I'm going through this thing, and I am telling you that, guys, I really appreciate it. I'm not a dick. I'm really not. I appreciate all the well wishes and the nice things that you've said to me over the years. And
since 2005.
Listen to this one. Listen, hey Spencer, I really need to thank you for what you do, man. I think you are the most speaker I've ever heard. You are really good at what you do, and I think it's because you're so honest about everything. And he goes on. This guy writes this beautiful letter to me, and I just blew him off. And I'm so sorry, man. I really am sorry, and everyone else who wrote me. But now I know.
By the way, there's a whole thing. I don't do cocaine. We were just talking about a razor blade that resembles what you cut cocaine with.
Exactly.
I'm not saying I do cocaine. I'm just saying that is what
who the fuck does blow anymore? People actually still do. I mean, that's craziness.
No, just take like an Oxy or like a Percocet.
I thought that's what kids did today. They do pills.
You know what I want? I want Quaaludes. I want to find that last stockpile of Quaaludes.
Dude, what do you think I used to find the matzah when I was a kid? on Passover. My father would hide the matzah next to his shoe, next to the Quaaludes he was hiding in his shoes.
I'll never forget, I was 14 years old, and one of my friends found like an old bottle of Quaalude. Probably did not work. Quaaludes have not been around since like 1980. We all took it, and we all felt high on it. We thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I'm sure it was the same effect as the people saying that the dicks aren't working from Propecia.
I'm not going to say that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's your thing. What was I going to say? going to say something. The comments of Andrew Zarian are not necessarily. Give me a.
Supported by
supported. Thank you.
Bald Truth.
Supported by the Bald Truth or baldtruthtalk.com or the Bald Truth.
I'm the loose cannon of hair loss.
You are fucking crazy, dude. But I love you for that. Now let's say goodnight to Joe.
All right.
Joe, I want to say goodnight to you, man. Joe?
Hello?
Yeah, we want to say goodnight to you, bro.
Am I live on the air now?
You are, and you got to turn on your computer.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me on the air now?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Am I coming clear?
You're clear as a bell.
Oh, wow. So I want to say goodnight to both of you guys, and I hope you have a good time when you go out.
Thank you.
I hope I do, too. I hope I don't end up in a fight trying to protect this kid.
No. I actually enjoy hanging out with Spencer because of common law.
That's why everyone likes to hang out with me.
She's a lot of fun.
She is.
When is Andrew leaving? Can I ask him? I'll have to ask that.
I can't. I mean, not soon enough, dude.
Can't ask that. You can't say that. All right. Well, let's hope for good things from the hair conference. That's all I can say.
I hope so, too. And you know what? I hope that, to God, I can get my phones fixed by next week. So for next week's program, we could really enjoy these extremely busy boards that we have because our phone lines are lit all night, and I can't take the calls. So.
Well, Spencer, unfortunately, the hair conference is not till the beginning of May. It won't be on next week. Or we won't really have any information.
Well, that's true, but I'd still like to get my phones fixed.
Then why are you coming loud and clear for now? Why is that?
Because it's a bandwidth issue, dude. It has to do. There's a problem with the node. This entire area, like 40,000 homes, apparently. Was it 4? No, I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. 4,000 homes were affected by this problem, and mine happens to be one of them.
But you saw them working, so maybe they're going to fix it by next week.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe I should be handling the phone calls from my place because I'm going to be getting a call system.
That would be great. Are you kidding me? You're getting a call system too?
Maybe.
You fuck.
Can I say quick good night to my gangs? My gangs?
Yes,
of course you
absolutely.
can,
Go ahead.
Artista, good night. Rick, Master, Boston Bob, Brady, Falkley Challenged, and Johnny from Ohio.
How about Suncast?
And Suncast kicks me out of the chat room sometimes.
Oh, you guys have to play nice.
You going to hold a grudge now?
He's a good boy. Suncast is a good boy.
He's a beautiful boy.
I don't know. He liked me in person, but I don't know.
How about Combs? How about Combs, Joe?
I don't know anything about Combs.
He's a hair loss expert.
No, he's not a sufferer. He makes fun of sufferers.
He's a hair loss expert.
You know, Andrew, I was thinking you should retitle the free-for-all. It's not really a free-for-all because you can't discuss a certain topic.
No, with the hair loss stuff. Oh, so the hair loss stuff is exclusively for this show. That's the agreement that I have with Spencer. It's in our contract. We cannot do another show that has to do with hair loss, and Spencer doesn't want hair loss on that show.
Oh, now you're blaming me because of the contract.
It's a 10-page contract. I got a 5-year deal with you.
But that's you put that in the contract, not me. Joe, don't get mad at me. It's not my fault.
No, it's such I can never get mad. You're my best friend. I want you to give me that chair, man. That's what I want.
Am I really your best friend, Joe? I mean, is that? I mean, I appreciate the fact that you say that, but is that true? Because if it is, I feel bad about that. Because A, we don't really see each other ever, and B, you know, I mean, you have a family and a wife and children, and I'm sure you have friends. I'm sure you have friends that you're actually, you know, physically able to hang out with
and touch.
No, I don't, Spencer, but only you.
That's a lot of pressure, dude. I got to tell you, that you know, just kind of scares me.
No, I mean, you're my friend. I mean, I don't see you that often, but we speak to each other several times a week. You know, I call you on occasion. I know if I need something, you'll help me. You've done it before.
Of course I would help you, Joe.
You know, and I consider you a friend. Whatever I ask you to do, you've done.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
That's what a friend is. You're a real get mensch.
Well, I appreciate that. All right, Joe.
And by the way, you look pretty good as a Noah 7, you and Andrews.
Thank you.
That's so.
I thought Coco looked the best. He looked like an old gorilla that's been losing his hair for 40 years.
Oh, that's horrible.
He was like a 40-year-old gorilla.
That's horrible.
Well, you guys would need about 40,000 grafts to fill up that head of hair.
Yeah, at least.
Holy crap! And the guy expanded Andrew's head like tenfold.
It's like Max Edward.
Coco looked kind of horrifying. I have to say that. I don't even know it. If he's not on the air now. He looks horrifying, to be honest with you.
Coco looks horrifying in real life.
Listen, people have a lot of time on their hands, man.
Joe, you know what? On Friday, you know what you could do? You could bring up hair loss, but you have to talk to Coco about his bald spot.
Well, Spencer, Andrew, if you ever fire Coco, maybe one day you could take me on as your mass sidekick.
Oh yeah, I would love to have you as my sidekick. 100%, Joe.
Joe, if you would put your face on camera, I'm sure he would have you in the studio in Queens.
Spencer, if I appear the camera once, my whole what's the word you look for? My whole
your mystique, your
mystique will be
cachet
within 1 second. One live appearance, it'll all over.
It actually would be. That's not untrue. If people saw you, it would be over.
The allure of Joe from
the allure, the mystique, people, there's a certain aspect, a theater in mind aspect to thinking of what Joe looks like.
I just got a message from Suncast. He goes, "Please never let Joe in your house."
Oh, that's horrible.
When Dr. Phillip met me, he was mortified.
Was he really mortified? By what? By your appearance?
Yeah, he seemed a little mortified.
I don't think he was. I think he was just a little scared. Not mortified.
Yeah, scared would be the word.
It was what?
Scared, not mortified.
He seemed mortified he just seemed a little, I don't know.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll have Dr. Phil on the air to ask him directly.
Yeah, he's situated at psychiatric issues.
By the way, guys, I was going through some stuff, and I found that anyone who's interested in radio, I found some old carts from the Bald Truth Show when they were using carts.
Look at those things. What year was that from? 1998?
This is 1999. It's unfucking believable, man. That's how long I've been doing this. And I think it's time to retire. I really do. Joe, you got to put down your computer. Listen, guys.
All right.
We're gonna go. Joe, thanks so much for hanging out. God bless. All right, man. We'll talk to you later. Hey, guys, I want to give out the websites. TheBaldTruth.com, of course, for archives of this broadcast, and The Bald Truth UK. You can check out our message forum if you want to communicate with other hair loss sufferers at BaldTruthTalk.com. And, of course, check out the American Hair Loss Association website, AmericanHairLoss.org. Check out the Guys from Queens Network at GuysFromQueens.com and GFQLive.tv. I want to thank Andrew Zarian for getting his ass on an airplane. I mean, it's unbelievable that he actually left his house.
I got on a plane for you.
I can't believe it, actually. It's amazing. I've known you for a few years, and I don't think you've ever willingly left your house if there wasn't booze involved and it wasn't right down the block.
Well, there's booze involved. This is just 3,000 miles away.
Yeah, and you should have seen what it took this guy to I'm telling you, it was like he was, like fucking Lewis and Clark.
And I took no barbiturates, no alcohol, nothing when I got on that plane.
Yeah, because you were ready to escape. You were in case something happened. You were so shit scared.
I had actually plotted out what I would do and who I would have to trample in order to escape.
Dude, I actually count the seats to the exit just in case it's too smoky and dark. And I can't see anything. I know exactly how many seats it is to the exit row.
I was in the second row, too. So.
Is that insane? That's what I do. Actually, he's probably pretty smart. All right, guys. Listen, Andrew, thanks so much for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Next week, it was great having you. Hopefully next week we will have everything working properly. But look, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Again, check out our message forum, BaldTruthTalk.com, the most trafficked message forum in the world of hair loss in the world. And I want to thank all of you guys for making it the most trafficked.
Can I say it? Can I say it?
Yeah.
Be strong, and God bless.
Good night, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Let me see if I can get this right.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the program, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid. Thank you. Good night.